Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today we're going to do the Arsenal player ratings versus Liverpool, and we're going to look at how the Gunners got on individually in their Premier League clash with the Reds at the Emirates Stadium. So the first person on the list is Bernd Leno. For all of Liverpool's dominance in the first half, the German was not actually worked that often. In the second half though, he could have done better for Jota's goal and left a gap between his legs for Salah to shoot between for the second. So I think it was an average performance by Bernd Leno, because the first goal he could have done better. He could have put a stronger hand to Jota's first goal with the header, and he could have saved Salah's shots, but for his performance he deserves a 5. So the next person on the list is Callum Chambers. He dealt well with the offensive threats of Andrew Robertson's aggressive play, but he was not allowed to show the attacking prowess of his own due to Arsenal's inability to attack. And I thought Callum Chambers did do a good job defensively when it comes to both Sadio Mane and Andrew Robertson coming down the left flank, but he didn't attack, so he deserves a 6 for his performance. So the next person on the list is Rob Holding. He resumed his battle with Sadio Mane, and after a shaky start, it seemed to be just about winning it when the Senegalese winger showed frustration. He lost his man for Diogo Jota's goal, although to be fair, he can hardly be blamed with the quality of Trent Alexander-Arnold's cross. And I think Rob Holding has to do much better than today, because it looks like David Luiz may be out until the end of the season, so Rob Holding has to put in a big shift, but for his performance, he deserves a 5. Next up, we got Gabriel Magalhaes. He was tested consistently by Mohamed Salah in the first half, and he was doing well to stand up the challenge. That was until he missed the chance to tackle the Egyptian in the build-up to his strike, a mistake that sealed Arsenal's fate on the day. Things then even got worse with an appalling pass out from the back that led to the third. And I thought Gabriel did play really well in the first 30 or 40 minutes, but then his frustration started to mount up and he started to make mistakes, and the performance started to get worse, so he gets a 5 for his performance. Next up, we got Kieran Tierney. He defended well, but he couldn't attack at all, before being forced off through injury at the end of the first half. Arsenal will be hoping that the knee problem that saw him withdrawn is not as bad as Kieran Tierney's concerned facial expression made it seem. And it looks like Kieran Tierney may be out for some time, and I think this is a major blow considering how important the Slavia Prague matches are, and I am really scared as an Arsenal fan. So he deserves a 6 for his performance. Next up, we got Thomas Partey. He was a busy man in the first half, almost playing Liverpool's midfield free on his own at times during the first. Such was the poor quality of Dani Ceballos' display. He made lots of nifty interceptions and kept his composure to dribble out at times when his teammates were found to be lacking. And I feel really sorry for Thomas Partey, because he didn't have Granit Xhaka to partner him, and Dani Ceballos was awful in my opinion, and for his performance he deserves a 7. Next up, we got Dani Ceballos. It's difficult to pinpoint exactly when Dani Ceballos' downturn in form began, but he will be hoping this is as bad as it gets. In fairness to him, it would be hard to get much worse. He was nervous on the ball under pressure and all too eager to go long. His display was the antithesis of what Mikel has tried to implement at the Emirates. It would be a shock if Arsenal looked to make his loan move from Real Madrid permanent after that display. And it looks like, even though Mikel Arteta is a huge admirer of Dani Ceballos, I thought today he was awful, and I thought he gave Thomas Partey double the work to do. And for his performance today, he's one of the poorest performers, so he deserves a 4 for his performance. Next up, we got Nicolas Pepe. He was relatively invisible on a night where he was given his chance to shine. Like the rest of the attacking quartet, could not be blamed for his team's inability to get the ball forward, but the Ivorian could do more when he receives the ball. There was only a time where I saw Nicolas Pepe in the last 5 minutes in the stoppage time where I saw some brilliance on the ball, but other than that, he looked very shaky on the ball as well, and I think it was a bit of rust after the international break, but for his performance today, he deserves a 5. Next up, we got Martin Ødegaard. He was called flaky out of possession by Gary Neville, which seemed harsh for the hard-working Norwegian. Still though, he would have been expected to influence the game more after such an impressive run before the international break, and I do not blame him at all because he hardly got a touch of the ball. There was no forward passes, it was just get the ball to Bert Leno and clear it to the attacking line, and with Odegaard's height and physicality, he's not going to get every single ball. So for his performance today, he deserves a 5. Next up, we got Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Anonymous, yes again. You can make excuses for the Gabon international in that Arsenal was so deep for so much of the game, but this run of matches where he hasn't been able to affect things is a real problem for the Gunners. And I think Mikel Arteta has a big decision on whether to drop Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He's starting to substitute him off the games. I think it's time to take him off a game completely. But with Slavia Prague, the next match, he may probably feature. So he deserves a 5 for his performance. Next up, we got Alexandre Lacazette. He battled hard up front, but found himself dropping increasingly deep as Arsenal couldn't get out in the match. A couple of exaggerated screams under minimal contact will have done little to boost his reputation as well. And I thought Alexandre Lacazette could do everything he can because he struggled, he tried to get into the ball, he fought up with the other players, but he just didn't get the ball or get any opportunities to take a single shot. So for his performance, he deserves a 6. Next, we're going to look at the substitutes, and first is Cedric Soares. All 3 goals came from his left back position, which will worry Mikel Arteta in the absence of Kieran Tierney, given no opportunity more or less to get forward and show his attacking prowess. And I really think Kieran Tierney's absence is going to be a huge problem for the Gunners, because we understood when Kieran Tierney doesn't play, Arsenal don't play, and it's a huge problem. But for his performance, he deserves a 5. Next up, we got Mohamed Elneny. On the balance, he should have started the game ahead of Dani Ceballos, but the fact that Arsenal are looking to the Egyptian for answers in a game as big as this, it shows their lack of depth in midfield, and it can see clearly that Mohamed Elneny looks very good because how poor Dani Ceballos was in that game, and I'm really worried. Hopefully Granit Xhaka will be back, but for his performance today, I think it's fair to say he deserves a 5. Next up, we got Gabriel Martinelli. He hardly touched the ball after coming on, and he still probably did more than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang though. And I'm really sorry to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but I thought Gabriel Martinelli should start this game or even bring back Willian, because I think it's time to put Aubameyang on the subs. He needs to learn his mistakes, he can't go through the pain, and for his performance today, Martinelli deserves a 5. Overall, Mikel Arteta has a big job on his hands. He's admitted it in his press conference, he's admitted it in his post-match interview that he can't see this sort of a performance. And he's the manager, he's the one that has to focus on this. He has to do something regarding the team and make them play good football again. If he wants to change the formation, is what I want to see in my opinion. Play a 4-3-3, play Partey with 2 attacking midfielders like Smith Rowe and Martin Odegaard, and hopefully Mikel Arteta will implement something like that. But other than that, guys, remain blessed. Stay tuned for the next video, and peace.